Have you ever walked past your sleeping dog without giving it a second thought? Maybe they were curled into a tiny ball on the couch. Maybe they were stretched across the floor with their paws twitching in a dream. Or maybe they had somehow managed to press their entire body against your leg, even though there was an empty bed just a few feet away. Most of us smile for a moment and keep walking. But what if I told you that every single night, your dog is quietly telling you exactly how they feel about their world and about you? Not with a bark, not with a wagging tail, but with the position they choose when they finally close their eyes. Behavioral researchers have spent decades studying how sleep reflects emotional security in social animals. Yet very few dog owners realize they have been watching these silent messages for years without ever understanding them. Tonight, we're going to change that. Because by the end of this video, you may never look at your sleeping dog the same way again. And one sleeping position, in particular, could reveal a level of trust that most people completely misunderstand. Part 1. The curled up ball. Most people see this position and think only one thing. Your dog must be cold. Sometimes that is true, but temperature is rarely the whole story. Imagine walking into your living room late at night. The television has long been turned off. The house is silent. There, on the corner of the couch, your dog is curled into a perfect little circle. Their nose is tucked beneath their tail. Their paws disappear beneath their chest. Their entire body seems to have folded inward, becoming as small as possible. At first glance, it almost looks fragile. Yet this sleeping position carries one of the oldest survival instincts your dog has ever inherited. Long before dogs slept inside warm homes, their wild ancestors survived by conserving body heat during cold nights. Curling into a tight ball reduced the amount of exposed surface area, helping them stay warm while protecting the chest and abdomen, the most vulnerable parts of the body. That instinct never disappeared. It simply followed them into our homes. But here is the fascinating part. Not every curled-up dog is feeling the same emotion. The location matters just as much as the position itself. If your dog curls into a ball in a quiet corner of the room, they may simply be choosing a place where they can rest without interruption. Just like people sometimes prefer a peaceful bedroom over a noisy living room, dogs often seek calm when they enter deep sleep. Now imagine something slightly different. Your dog is still curled into that same tiny ball, but instead of choosing the empty dog bed across the room, they curl up just beside your chair, or against the side of your bed, or beside the kitchen while you're finishing dinner. Suddenly, the picture changes. Behaviorists often describe dogs as balancing two powerful needs at the same time: the need to feel protected and the need to stay connected to the individuals they trust most. A curled body protects them physically. Choosing to curl up near you protects them emotionally. That small decision tells you something surprisingly meaningful. Your presence has become part of what makes the environment feel safe. You are no longer simply another person inside the house. You have become part of your dog's definition of home. Perhaps that explains why so many owners notice the same quiet pattern. Their dog has an expensive orthopedic bed, a soft blanket, even an entire room to choose from. Yet somehow, night after night, they still end up curled into a tiny ball just a few feet away. Comfort brought them to sleep. Trust determined where they chose to close their eyes. And as meaningful as this position is, the next one reveals something even more surprising. Because unlike the curled-up ball, it requires your dog to do the exact opposite. Instead of making themselves smaller, they willingly expose the one part of their body that nature taught them to protect the most. Part 2. The side sleeper. If your dog's curled-up position tells us they still like to protect themselves, the next sleeping position tells a very different story. Picture an ordinary evening. You've finished cleaning the kitchen, turned off the lights downstairs, and quietly walked past the living room before heading to bed. There, stretched across the rug, lies your dog. One front leg reaches forward, the other rests loosely beneath it. Their chest rises and falls in a slow, steady rhythm. Their eyes remain gently closed. There isn't a single muscle in their body that looks tense. Most owners barely notice this position because it seems so ordinary. But in the language of canine behavior, ordinary can sometimes mean extraordinary. Unlike a dog curled into a ball, a side-sleeping dog is no longer shielding their stomach. Their body is open. Their muscles are relaxed. Their breathing becomes slower and deeper. In many cases, this is the position dogs naturally settle into as they enter their most restorative stages of sleep. Researchers studying canine sleep have found that dogs are more likely to reach deep sleep and REM sleep when their bodies are fully relaxed. During these stages, the brain processes memories, emotions, and experiences from the day while the body recovers from physical activity. In other words, this is not just a nap. This is where real rest begins. Perhaps you've noticed something else. Your dog's paws suddenly begin to twitch. Their ears flick ever so slightly. Maybe their nose wiggles as though they're following an invisible scent. Sometimes they even let out a tiny bark that barely escapes their lips. It almost makes you wonder, what are they dreaming about? A favorite tennis ball? Yesterday's walk through the park? The squirrel they almost caught? Or perhaps you? No one can answer that with certainty. But scientists do know that dogs experience REM sleep remarkably similar to humans, making dreams a natural part of a healthy sleep cycle. And your dog only reaches that level of sleep when their nervous system decides the environment is safe enough to let its guard down. That decision says far more than most owners realize. Think about the last time your dog fell asleep while you were reading on the couch. You hadn't called them. You weren't petting them. You weren't even looking at them. Yet somehow, within a few minutes, they quietly wandered over, stretched out on their side, and drifted into a peaceful sleep only a few feet away. They weren't asking for attention. They were choosing the atmosphere your presence created. For dogs, safety isn't measured only by locked doors or quiet rooms. It is measured by the individuals who make those places feel predictable. Over time, your voice, your footsteps, even the familiar rhythm of your daily routine become part of what tells your dog's brain everything is okay. That is why many rescue dogs behave differently during their first weeks in a new home. They may sleep lightly, wake at the smallest sound, or repeatedly change places throughout the night. Then, something beautiful begins to happen. Days turn into weeks. Weeks become months. Little by little, the constant alertness starts to disappear. One evening, almost without you noticing, they stretch out completely on their side for the very first time. To anyone else, it looks like an ordinary nap. To someone who understands dogs, it may be one of the quietest milestones of healing you'll ever witness. Because trust is rarely announced with excitement. More often, it arrives silently, one peaceful night's sleep at a time. And yet, even this deep sense of security is not the greatest expression of trust your dog can offer. Because the next sleeping position asks them to do something that every survival instinct tells them never to do. To expose the most vulnerable part of their body. Completely. Number, part 3. The belly-up sleeper. And then there is the position that almost always makes people smile. Your dog is lying on their back. Their legs are floating in the air. Their belly is completely exposed. Maybe one paw twitches gently, as if they are running through a dream only they can see. Maybe their mouth hangs slightly open. Maybe they look so comfortable, so ridiculous, and so completely unaware of how funny they seem that you cannot help but stop and stare for a moment. Most owners see this position and think one simple thing: my dog is relaxed. And they are. But that word does not go nearly deep enough. Because for a dog, the belly is not just another part of the body. It is the place every survival instinct tells them to protect. The chest, the abdomen, the soft tissue beneath the ribs. These are the places nature taught animals to guard. In the wild, exposing that part of the body at the wrong moment could be dangerous. So even when dogs live in warm homes, sleep on soft blankets, and hear nothing more threatening than the refrigerator humming in the kitchen, that ancient instinct still lives quietly inside them. Which is why this sleeping position means so much. A dog who sleeps belly up is not simply getting comfortable. They are allowing their body to say something their voice never could. There is no threat here. There is no need to hide. There is no reason to protect myself from this room. Think about that for a second. Your dog may have a bed in the corner, a quiet hallway, a safe crate, a favorite blanket, and yet, there they are, in the middle of the floor or beside your couch, completely upside down, offering the most vulnerable part of themselves to the open air. That does not happen by accident. It happens when the nervous system feels so safe that even ancient caution becomes unnecessary. You may notice this most often after a long day together. Maybe after a walk where they came home tired and happy. Maybe after dinner, when the house becomes quiet and everyone settles into familiar places. Maybe on a lazy Sunday afternoon when sunlight spills across the floor and your dog rolls onto their back as if the whole world has finally become gentle enough to trust. That moment may look silly, but underneath it is something deeply tender. Your dog is not performing trust. They are resting inside it. And if you have ever cared for a nervous dog, a rescue dog, or a dog who once flinched at sudden sounds, you know how powerful this can be. The first time they sleep belly up in your home may not look dramatic to anyone else. There may be no music, no celebration, no grand announcement, just a dog, upside down on the carpet, breathing softly. But to the person who waited patiently for that trust to grow, it can feel like a quiet miracle. Because healing does not always arrive with a wagging tail. Sometimes, it arrives as a soft belly exposed to the ceiling. And this is the truth, hidden inside that funny little pose. Your dog is not just saying, "I am comfortable." They are saying, "I have stopped expecting the world to hurt me here." A soft bed may give your dog comfort, but only love, patience, and safety can teach them to sleep with nothing left to guard. And yet, not every dog who feels safe is ready to surrender completely. Some dogs rest differently. They want to relax, but they also want to be ready for whatever exciting thing might happen next. Number. Part 4. The Superman Sleeper. But not every dog wants to disappear completely into sleep. Some dogs seem to rest with one foot still in the waking world. You may have seen this on a warm afternoon. Your dog has been playing for 20 minutes, chasing a toy across the living room, running from one end of the hallway to the other, following you from room to room, as if every movement you make is the beginning of a new adventure. Then, all at once, they stop. Not because they are finished, not because the fun is over, but because their little body needs a pause. They drop flat onto the floor. Their belly presses against the cool surface. Their back legs stretch straight behind them. Their front paws reach forward. Their head rests low, but their ears remain awake to the world. This is the Superman position, and it often looks so funny that owners reach for their phones before they even realize what they are doing. At first glance, it seems like nothing more than a cute pose. A tired puppy, a playful dog, a little body sprawled out like it is flying across the kitchen tiles. But there is a reason this position appears so often in young, curious, high-energy dogs. The Superman sleeper is resting, but not surrendering. Their body is relaxed enough to pause, but still arranged in a way that allows them to spring up quickly. If someone opens the fridge, they can move. If a leash is touched, they can move. If a toy squeaks from the other side of the room, they can move. Even in sleep, part of them is still saying, "Don't start anything fun without me." That is why you may see this position in the middle of ordinary life, after a game of fetch, beside the kitchen while dinner is being prepared, near the front door after a walk, as if your dog is hoping the next walk might begin immediately, or on a cool patch of floor during summer where their body can rest and release heat at the same time. There is some simple biology behind it. Dogs lose heat through areas like their paw pads and belly, so lying flat against a cool surface can help them regulate body temperature. Puppies and energetic dogs also tend to move quickly between excitement and rest, which makes this position perfect for short breaks rather than deep sleep. But the real meaning is found in the little story around it. Your dog is not trying to hide. They are not guarding themselves tightly. They are not fully letting go either. They are simply staying close to the life happening around them. Maybe that life is you folding laundry. Maybe it is children laughing in another room. Maybe it is the sound of your footsteps moving toward the door. To your dog, these small sounds are not background noise. They are invitations. They are possibilities. They are reminders that the person they love is still nearby, and something wonderful might happen at any moment. That is what makes the Superman position so endearing. It belongs to the dog who wants to rest without missing life. The dog who is tired, but still hopeful. The dog who closes their eyes for a moment, but keeps their heart facing the next adventure. And perhaps that is the quiet lesson hidden in this playful little pose. Your dog is not simply lying on the floor. They are pausing beside the life they do not want to miss. But there is one final sleeping position that goes even deeper than comfort, playfulness, or physical safety. Because this one is not only about how your dog feels inside your home, it is about how your dog feels. Number. Part 5. The cuddler. And then there is the sleeping position that feels almost too simple to question. Your dog presses against you. Maybe their back is resting along your leg. Maybe their chin is on your ankle. Maybe one paw is touching your hand, as if even in sleep. They want to know you are still there. Most owners smile and think they just want warmth. And sometimes, yes, your body is warm. But if warmth were the only reason, your dog could choose a blanket. They could choose a sunny patch on the floor. They could choose the soft bed you bought for them. Instead, they choose you. They move past every comfortable place in the room and settle against the one living presence that makes their nervous system feel calm. That is what makes this position so beautiful. In the wild, social animals often sleep close to those they trust. Physical contact helps them feel secure, but it also creates a quiet rhythm between bodies. Breathing slows, muscles loosen, and the nervous system begins to settle. Your dog may not understand the science. They only understand the feeling of your leg beside them, the sound of your breathing, the familiar scent on your clothes, the small movements you make when you shift on the couch or turn in bed. To them, these are not interruptions. They are signals. They say, "You are not alone." Perhaps you have noticed this after a difficult day. You sit down without saying much. Your dog quietly walks over, circles once, and lies against you. They do not ask what happened. They do not need an explanation. They simply place their body beside yours, as if their presence is the only answer they know how to give. And sometimes, it is enough. This is why the cuddler position is not weakness. It is not clinginess. It is not your dog being spoiled. It is attachment. It is trust, made visible. It is your dog choosing to let their guard down only after they have found the place where their heart feels safest. Out of the whole room, out of the whole house. They chose the space closest to you. And that may be one of the quietest compliments your dog will ever give. Because a dog does not fake sleep. They do not pretend to feel safe. When their eyes close, their body tells the truth. So the next time your dog falls asleep against you, do not rush past it. Do not see it only as a habit. For your dog, this small moment may mean something far deeper than comfort. It may be their way of saying, "Of all the places I could rest, I feel safest when I am touching you." And once you understand that, every sleeping position begins to look different. The curl, the side sleeper, the belly-up pose, the Superman stretch, the quiet weight of a dog leaning into your body. None of these are random. They are small, silent messages written in the language of trust. So tonight, when your dog finally closes their eyes, take a moment to look. Where did they choose to sleep? What part of themselves did they protect? What part did they expose? And how close did they want to be to you? Because your dog has been telling you something every night for years. Not loudly, not dramatically, but honestly, and maybe the greatest gift you can give them is simply to notice. If this helped you see your dog in a new way, leave a comment and tell us which sleeping position your dog uses most often. And if you believe dogs are never just sleeping, subscribe and stay with us for more stories that help you understand the heart behind their quietest little behaviors. So the next time you walk past your sleeping dog, pause for just a moment. Look at the shape of their body. Are they curled tightly into themselves, still protecting the most vulnerable parts of who they are? Are they stretched peacefully on their side, trusting the room enough to drift into deeper sleep? Are they belly up, completely unguarded, as if the world around them has finally become safe enough to surrender to? Or are they pressed against you, quietly choosing your body as the safest place they know? Because your dog is never just sleeping. They are showing you the truth of how they feel when they have nothing left to perform, nothing left to hide, and no words to explain what you mean to them. And maybe that is the most beautiful part. Your dog does not need a perfect owner. They need a safe one. Someone whose presence feels steady. Someone whose voice feels familiar. Someone whose love is shown not only in big moments, but in the small things repeated every single day. So tell me in the comments, what sleeping position does your dog choose most often? Do they curl up near you, sleep belly up, stretch like Superman, or press their body against yours every night? And if this video helped you see your dog differently, subscribe before you leave. Because in the next video, we are going even deeper into the bond your dog hopes to share with you. We will explore the 6 acts of love your dog hopes to receive from you for life. The small, quiet things your dog may be waiting for every day. Not because they are needy, but because to them, your love is the center of their world.